Hey gang, welcome to Mzansi and USA News. Today I'm just doing a follow-up video on the Chidima One story. That Chidima, if you had listened to my previous video, I clearly indicated that Chidima, based on our laws, is a South African and should be allowed to compete in Miss South Africa. There has been since a lot of developments which have not really been clear whether there is a sabotage in the public domain of what exactly is going on, because the video I'm about to play for you has now been the basis for a lot of assertions made publicly, included assertions made by Minister McKenzie, which to me I think is unfortunate. Let's listen to this video, glean as much as you possibly can. I'll give you my analysis immediately after the video, and then I'll take you through to the video where the minister makes the statements which I think are also unfortunate. Listen to this.
Origin?
I'm a Nigerian and my wife is a South African.
Oh, all right.
And I've lived in South Africa as well. I spent 10 years in South Africa.
And do you have kids in South Africa?
Yes, I do.
And I suppose they are South African citizens.
Exactly.
All right. And what surname are they using?
My surname.
Your surname.
Because I'm married to their mom, yes.
All right. Okay. And on what visa were you here?
Actually, as I said, I got married. I met my wife in the UK. She's a South African, by the way. So we met in the UK. So in 2010, during World Cup, we decided we're gonna visit. At that time, we don't have children, so we decided we're gonna visit South Africa to watch the World Cup. So that was my first year. That's my first time entering South Africa. So I came with a visitor visa, because there's no other visa suitable for watching a World Cup other than visiting visa. So we came there. The World Cup ended. We returned back. I think it was a few weeks. We returned back to the UK. Then I have to return back again in 2013, and then with a visitor's visa, then got married to my wife in South Africa. So I am.
Okay, wait a minute. I like it. With a visitor's visa, you got
Right.
married to your South African woman.
Yes.
All right.
That's correct.
Okay. So I am going to ask you the same question I asked you, Kamba. In your heart,
Right.
are your kids a South African or Nigerian?
It's called dual citizen. They are both.
Okay, but then when you look at them, do you see them as Nigerian kids or otherwise?
That's what I've just said. They are
Okay.
Nigerian. They are Nigerian kids that have every single right that you have as a South African.
Okay, so you heard that. It's an interview that is placed on TikTok of an individual whose name we do not know, being interviewed by a person whom we do not know, an interview that has not been verified, that clearly states that this individual who is speaking here, regardless of the face that you see on your screen right now, that the individual who's speaking met the woman to whom he is referring to. Whenever they met, we don't know, we are not told. All we know is that in 2010, they decided to come to South Africa because they had met in the UK. They were staying in the UK at the time that they met, but the woman was clearly a South African, according to the story we are being told here. But they met in the UK. We are not told when they met in the UK. Then they tell us in 2010, when there was a World Cup in South Africa, they decided to come to South Africa for the World Cup, which they came on a visitor's visa. And then they went back to the UK where they were staying. In 2013, they came back to South Africa for the purposes of marrying. You understand that? Now, obviously, if you are paying attention to the details this gentleman is unveiling on this, there's no way you can mistake that for Chidima's father. That's pretty clear. Chidima is not 14 years old, because this gentleman says, I met my wife in the UK. In 2010, we did not have any children. During the World Cup in South Africa, we decided to come to South Africa for the World Cup. And he says, and at that time, we did not have any children. And they got married in 2013. So whether they gave birth to to Chidima together as a couple, we know that that could not have happened. Why? Because Chidima is not 14 years old. So whoever is talking here cannot be Chidima's father. As a matter of fact, the only way that person could be Chidima's father is if he is talking about Chidima's mother, and Chidima's mother had Chidima by the time that they met. But then what would puzzle me or any individual who analyzes the video is to say, but then what does it mean when you say they did not have children? But we don't have to go to this lengths, right? The only reason why I'm going to this length is because there is a minister here who's talking about this unverified video of this video that is got characters that are not named. The interviewer and the interviewee are not known. We see there it says the Ben Stairs Show. I could have written that myself and posted it on TikTok. You get the point? So the minister needed to verify the claims being made here before he talks about them publicly as a minister. The second thing, he should have spoken to Schreiber, who is his colleague in Home Affairs, to verify the veracity of the claims being made and the circumstances under which Chidima got her citizenship. And then he can come to the public or allow Schreiber to deal with that matter, because that matter is in Schreiber's office as a Minister of Home Affairs. Are you following me? This video here, right here in front of you, does not say whoever is speaking there is Chidima's father. There is no basis for that claim because the person doesn't say it. The person interviewing them does not say it. So what are the bases for people to claim that it is Chidima's father who's speaking here? I'm going to tell you what are the bases. The bases are the lenses at which you are seeing this thing through. You are listening with prejudice. I'm a South African, a Xhosa from the Eastern Cape. I have said, listen to my first video, and I said this child met the minimum requirements, and if she met the minimum requirements, then let her be, leave her alone. We are not in a position to tell her to celebrate or not to celebrate her father's heritage. That's none of our business. And if she was born here from a South African woman, she is a South African. We may not like how she carries her life and who she celebrates and who she doesn't celebrate. But that's none of our business. We cannot take her South Africanness away from her. This is very important. Now, I said to you the reason why I'm analyzing this is because of what the minister has said publicly. So let me show you what the minister is saying. I'm sure you would agree with me that in the video you've heard just now that has Chidima's face, nowhere did the individual who's speaking that claim to be Chidima's father. Nowhere did the interviewer claim that she is interviewing Chidima's father. So we have no way of knowing who are these two people who are talking here. All we know is that Chidima's face has been placed on this with this audio recording at the back. Good people, do you know what propaganda is? This is it. This is it. To the extent of what we have listened to here, we have no basis to claim that this man was talking about Chidima. We need further evidence. This is what being objective means. Now let's listen to the minister quoting this very unfounded video, which to me is shameful for a minister to be making a reference to this video that has not been verified. Listen to this.
It's a private company holding my South Africa.
Should that change?
Yeah, I think there should be nothing here that you cannot negotiate. I haven't had a chance to look at and say, do we need this? Should we? There's still a big dispute. It's a private company holding my South Africa.
Should that change?
Yeah, I think there should be nothing here that you cannot negotiate.
I apologize for that. Here's a proper video of the minister being interviewed by Rob Marawa. Apologies for the error that happened earlier on.
Happening.
All right.
Do you have your invitation?
No.
Are you going?
Well, I can't go if I'm not invited. It's not a department that falls directly under us. There's still a big dispute.
Yeah.
It's a private company holding Miss South Africa.
Should that change?
Yeah, I think there should be nothing here that you cannot negotiate. I haven't had a chance to look at and say, do we need this? Should we? Do we need this? We've never had a situation like the one we're having now with Ms Vannessa.
So with that, and again, remember pre-elections, hey, Abahambe, and then you coming back from Paris and saying, hey, we can't have a Nigerian competing in Miss SA. Do you still hold those views?
100%. The views I held before election, I'm holding it stronger now. Post-election. My pre-election views does not change because of being a minister. I still believe you have to be documented when you come into South Africa. I still believe that's not Gaten, that's the law. And if you are not documented, you should abahambe, you should leave. You know, people that say to me, you are xenophobic. I said, until they kill your child, and then we can't find the person because the person is undocumented. The issue of the young lady is, for me, I was asked upon landing.
Yes.
What do you think of the lady? I said, listen, number one, I don't have all the facts. That was my first thing I said. I tweeted, I said, I don't have all the facts. But what I do know, and in 2068, I will still hold the view that no Nigerian, no Zimbabwean, no Italian, no American should become Mr. South Africa. Miss South Africa. Why then? There's Miss World for those things. There's Miss Universe for those things. But South Africa, Miss South Africa is an ambassador of the country. Is a person that will export our culture. Is a person that will export our way of life to the world. Is a person that will go and make sure people want to visit our country. All I'm saying is that I've seen videos, number one, where she's celebrating, and there's nothing wrong celebrating with a lot of Nigerians. But when your father goes on the radio and he says that he met your mom in 2010, and then she fell pregnant in 2010, that makes you 14 years old. The father said, and at the end of the interview, the father was asked, do you see your daughter South African or Nigerian? The father said on the interview, I see her as Nigerian. I listened to it.
Right.
Now, I am not wanting to cast any aspersions, but that gives a bit of vibes. If my father was being asked, what am I? Then I've got no business representing Mr. South Africa, because my father says I'm not South African. But if the lady, you know, people must not mistake if you are born in South Africa that you are South African. A human being born, a cow being born in a horse stable doesn't make you a horse. And that is the law.
So what would you like to see? Because that is literally next weekend.
I would like to see, I would not like to go the route that it is taking now. I would like to see a more amicable atmosphere surrounding this thing. At the moment, all we're asking for is, please give us, please answer our questions. It's not enough when they say one thing and the parents say another thing in the interview. It will be a travesty of justice. There's no South African that can represent America. Why do we allow things? And I'm not even saying she's Nigerian. But if you ask me today, are you South African? I'm going to say yes. Particularly when I'm going to represent South Africa. I need to give. We can't just be told by private people that is getting a lot of mileage out of this thing, and South Africa is getting a lot of mileage, to say, no, she's South African. The deputy minister came on TV and he explained the situation. So we are now following the correct channels. And if she's South African, I will be the first to apologize and say, if you feel that I've cast any aspersion on you, as the minister, I would like to apologize. But if she's not South African, she cannot represent us.
She can't go on stage, for example, because at the stage, she has to be part of the pageant.
She doesn't have to.
I think more or less you get the gist. McKenzie is talking about this man being her father, but nowhere in the audio that you heard did that man make that claim. Secondly, he's talking about the woman being pregnant in 2010, and therefore that's 14 years ago. But that's not part of what you listened to We all listen. You can rewind this and listen. That's why I played that uninterrupted. There is nowhere where you are going to come across in that audio where this man is telling you when this woman fell pregnant. Okay? It's not in that audio. So you can't make up stories and believe your own lies. This is very, very, very disingenuous of McKenzie. And furthermore, I expected much, much better from a minister. Okay? I'm getting to like McKenzie. This over here is not going to change my mind on that unless he makes significant errors. Because one main reason why this will not change my mind is simple. He is still saying he is on a fact-finding mission. He hasn't made a conclusion. But he shouldn't be telling the public this. That's the point I'm making. He should take the decorum and the hue of professionalism from the office which he is now holding. How I wish I could be this gentleman's advisor, or he could have people who would advise him appropriately. He's not supposed to comment about this matter on the public domain. It was enough when the journalist asked him at the airport to say, I'm on a fact-finding mission, I'll revert back to you the moment I have the facts. And here he should have simply said the same thing to Robert Marawa and not comment on a TikTok video that is unfounded, because that is now abasing the office that he holds and creating new critics for him. Nevertheless, guys, that's where I'm at. This video does not prove anything concerning Chidima. If anything, this video could have just been a propagandist video that has been created. We can't glean anything from this video. McKenzie, Minister McKenzie, I appeal to you. Respect yourself, respect your office. Call your minister on the other side. I think it's Leon Schreiber. Call Mr. Schreiber and ask him for an audience and for him to verify what exactly, under which circumstances did Chidima get her citizenship. And this matter should be settled. This matter should be settled in less than 8 hours, as a matter of fact. If we've got a good auditor, this matter should be settled in less than 8 hours. Okay, I would leave it at that, guys. You tell me what you think down below, having given thought to all the facts I've presented to you in this video. Up until then, I'm still of the same opinion that Chidima is a South African. Until new facts have emerged, I'm still going to maintain that let's allow her the space to participate in the competition. Remember, she can be stripped Miss South Africa afterwards and it be given to number two. And number two become number one, number three becomes number two, number four becomes number three. This has happened before. She can be stripped that title. Makes no mistake about it. So there's no rush. Allow the process to unfold. Investigate the matter thoroughly. Get to the conclusion and let's see what happens. Okay? But let's not base on our hatred or our liking of Nigerians or disliking of Nigerians. Yes, I know Nigerians can get under your skin. I've actually spent a reasonable amount of time amongst them. Some of them are extremely, what we call xenophobic, extremely arrogant, extremely rude, but so are South Africans. And I'm saying this being a South African. So that's no reason to hate on them. Okay? Remember, this is a state of man, good people. You are trying to take a crisis that is facing humanity and you are trying to now tailor-make it to be a Nigerian problem. No. The issue of fallenness, the state of the fall of man, faces all humanity. It's not a Nigerian story. No. All men has fallen short of the glory of God. All men are sinners. All men are extremely wicked with tremendous malevolence if they are left to their own devices. Okay, I'm not going to preach to you, so let me leave it at that. Up until the next video, ciao, ciao. Let me love you and leave you. Tell me what you think down below. Bye for now.